What's going on, peeps? My name is Simon and you're watching Soundwave TV, transforming your video experience. I went to the movies last week. I saw two films, War Room and Star Wars The Force Awakens. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of insight to what I thought about the movies. I'll start off with the War Room. It's a good movie if your spiritual batteries are on low. That'll probably be a video for another day, just kind of where I am in terms of faith and believing. It's unabashedly preachy. Like, everything, like, you can't say anything about Tyler Perry after watching The War Room. Like, this movie is Christian-based, and it lets you know from the jump that that's what this movie's about. Lots of movies, like, strive so hard to be, like, religiously neutral, and I would like to see something like this similar for like a family of Jewish faith or Muslim faith or Baha'i faith, you know, just another faith with the same sort of dealing with the real world issues. It's dealing with a family that really has like a crumbling marriage, and instead of going back and forth with each other, the wife decides to get her prayer life in order after meeting with a potential client for one of her houses. Now, the acting is not mind-blowing. It's decent. It gets very hammy at times. Like, there's always, you can tell, like, somebody was on set giving, like, little fake tears to put in people's eyes, because someone's always crying. Like, the wife's crying, or the husband's crying, or the daughter's crying, or all three of them are crying. But again, it deals very well with real world challenges that Christians face, whether it be stealing, infidelity, family support. You know, how much do you support them financially with their goals? How much you support them emotionally? Now, the Kendrick brothers, who directed the film, they have a good storyline. They had a good story structure, but the dialogue is a little hokey at times. So I think going forward, if they would get someone to maybe outsource that too, someone else to do the dialogue, it just seems a little clunky at times. And the foot smelling joke, there's a running gag about the wife's feet smelling. It wears thin after like the second time. It's like it's a running gag, but it wears thin very quickly. But the overall purpose of the movie is that there's an elderly lady, and she's giving advice to the younger couple in the movie, and the husband, who had passed away, was in the military. And, you know, military strategists, you know, they're in a war room. Well, the elderly lady, after her husband passed, she's going to make her war room, she's going to become a prayer warrior and do her fighting against, you know, sin, and doing her fighting against the devil and everything that evil forces that try to haunt people's decisions. You know, the old lady who plays, she's a blast. You'll definitely like her. It's in a dollar movie now, so this will probably be the last week it's running, but definitely when it comes on Netflix or wherever you get your streaming services, definitely check it out. It's definitely worth your time. Again, nothing mind-blowing. Also, another theme in the movie, writing down goals and visualizing them. The visual experience is very important when you're trying to restructure things in your life. Okay. Now on to Star Wars The Force Awakens. It is a solid film. It is definitely worth your money to see it in the big theaters. It's not mind-blowing. It didn't like melt my face or anything, but it is definitely worth your watch. They took everything that didn't work in the prequels out. This CGI all over the place, out. The random animals taking up screen time, that's out. All the bureaucracy, you know, they mentioned the Republic in their regards to the Resistance, but that is out. No more bureaucracy. That's out as well. That's good. Technically, the visual experience is on point, though the story seemed like a bit of a reboot. They land on a desert planet. There's a lost droid. There's, I'm trying to think here, what else did they repeat? You know, the X-Wings flying around trying to stop a big round thingy from blowing up planets. There's a lot of repeat from the original Star Wars film, or quote-unquote A New Hope in episode 4. But you have a lot of repeats in franchise movies. I mean, you look at Back to the Future. How many times did Marty wake up after being knocked out? How many times did Biff fall in the manure? How many times did Marty get away on a skateboard or throw a frisbee at somebody? You know, there's a lot of repeat in movies, so it's not a huge issue, but there is a lot of retread. I mean, it almost looks shot for shot, but it's a minor nitpick. I would have liked a little bit more of the backstory. Like, we're introducing these new characters, and you want us to care about them. Rey and Finn do an excellent job together to act. John Boyega and Daisy Ridley, they're good actors, and I hope to see more from them outside of Star Wars. If you're introducing them, I would have liked a little bit more of their childhood. You know, you see a little bit of glimpses, you see a little bit of flashback, but we could have done a little bit more with looking at their backstory to give us a little bit more concern with them. Kylo Ren is like your main villain, and he is super whiny. Like, people didn't really notice, people didn't really care about that, but like everybody complained that Anakin was so whiny in the prequels. Like, Kylo is like a total brat. But he's a good villain, but he's like super bratty. So there you go. I like seeing all the original cast together. Most of your principals are back in some form or another. We don't see Lando Calrissian, so I'm not sure what his part will be going forward. But most of your principal cast from the original in it. So if you're like super nostalgic for the original trilogy, you'll see they'll definitely have parts for them. Everything's bigger. The Starship Destroyer is bigger. The Death Star thingy, and they don't call it the Death Star, but is bigger. So you definitely need to see it in the theater. Sort of like the small screen really doesn't do it justice. You need to see it, if not in the big movies, and see it when it comes to the dollar movie if you haven't seen it yet. I would like to see more from Captain Phasma. Like, the dark side, the Empire, has always been a bit of a boys' club. This is your first like real prominent female villain in a long time. We don't really see a lot of her, so hopefully going forward into upcoming movies, we'll see more coming up from her. And the ending was a little clunky. I would have liked to see a little bit more. You know, this is you're back. Star Wars is back. Go out with a little bit more of a punch, but you know, it's definitely good. So again, Star Wars Force Awakens is a solid movie, worth your dime. It's not like super mind-blowing, but definitely worth your time. What did you think of the War Room? If you saw it, what did you think of the Star Wars The Force Awakens? Put it in the comments down below. This is one of a month-long series of videos I'm doing for Jumpstart January. If you're doing a Jumpstart January, leave a link to your channel and in the comments down below, and I'll check you out, see what you're doing. Don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. Until next time, this is Soundwave signing off. Peace.